In on point one, we look at Ram Temple donation controversy. For the first time, the trust has admitted that a theft did take place. While defending former General Secretary Champat Rai, the big question is who should be held accountable. In on point two, we examine the growing power struggle within the Punjab Congress. Ranjit Singh Channi and Raja warring at the centre of leadership tussle. Can the Congress contain the infighting before it reaches the voters? Are extreme sports safe in India? Are tourists safe in the hands who offer thrills without complete safety net to the tourists? And now let's take a quick look at the headlines. Prime Minister Modi conferred with Indonesia's highest award, the Bintang Adi Purna. EVM debate ends. India to export poll machines to Indonesia. Close shave for the French President Emmanuel Macron as twin explosions occur near the hotel where Macron was staying. 4 police personnel injured among the 14 injured in the blasts. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi heckled at the Al Khamenei's funeral in Iran. Crowds call Araghchi honorless. Two dead and 7 injured in massive landslide in Kerala's Wayanad Kalladi tunnel. Kerala CM VD Satheesan holds emergency meeting to assess rescue operations. Good news for TASMAC employees as Prohibition Department Minister K. Vignesh announces 25% salary hike for all TASMAC employees. The Ram Temple donation controversy has taken a dramatic turn. For the first time since the alleged theft came to light, the Sri Ram Janambhoomi Teerth Kshetra Trust has publicly admitted that a theft did take place. But at the same time, it has mounted a strong defense of its former General Secretary Champat Rai. According to the trust treasurer, Swami Govind Dev Ji Maharaj, Champat Rai was not part of the alleged conspiracy. Instead, he says Rai made a mistake of trusting the wrong people. The trust claims that those who worked closely with him betrayed both his confidence and the faith of millions of devotees.
चंपत राय जी के बारे में बोल सकता हूं। माननीय चंपत राय जी को मैं 32 वर्षों से जानता हूं और उनकी भूल यही है कि उन्होंने अपने समीप के लोगों पर अति विश्वास किया। उनका चरित्र, उनका जीवन, उनका त्याग, उनकी तपस्या, राम जन्मभूमि का आंदोलन कभी कोई नहीं जानता था। तब से यहां पर बैठ करके उन्होंने इस काम को गति दी है। इसलिए उनके त्यागपूर्ण जीवन का हम लोग कभी भी अनादर नहीं करते हैं। इस बात को ध्यान में लीजिएगा। हम तो उनके लिए अत्यंत आदर की भावना रखते हैं। बस इतना ही है कि जब अपने साथ का व्यक्ति गलती करता है तो उसकी छाया अपने ऊपर भी आ जाती है। किसी साथी के द्वारा की गई गलती की अवहेलना करने की हम लोगों की भूल हो जाती है। उस प्रकार की भूल उनकी अवश्य हुई है। इतने वर्षों तक वे ऐसे पापियों को अपने साथ कैसे रख सके और किस प्रकार उनकी इन सारी बातों का षड्यंत्र उनके ध्यान में नहीं आया, यह अनाकलनीय है।
But the trust has also admitted something equally significant. It says the system itself failed. There was no professional chief executive officer to oversee day-to-day operations. Oversight mechanisms were inadequate. Accountability was weak. And those entrusted with handling donations allegedly exploited these gaps. Now, the trust says it is introducing sweeping reforms. A professional CEO will be appointed. The donation counting system is being completely overhauled. And the trust says it will fully implement whatever action is recommended by the Special Investigations Team once the final report is submitted. Politically, however, the controversy has opened another front. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has accused the opposition of using the donation route to target the Ram Temple itself. He said that the Congress and Samajwadi Party, which had earlier questioned Lord Ram and opposed the Ram Mandir movement, are now trying to exploit the controversy for political mileage.
जब तक गठित नहीं हो रही थी तब तक समाजवादी पार्टी, कांग्रेस और अन्य सेकुलर दल कहते थे कि एसआईटी गठित होनी चाहिए। हमने गठित कर दी, फिर उन्होंने दूसरी डिमांड करनी शुरू कर दी और उसके बाद पिछले 1 महीने से हम सबके पावन धाम अयोध्या को बदनाम करने के लिए समाजवादी पार्टी और कांग्रेस ने कैसे मुहिम चला रखी है, कैसे आस्था पर प्रहार करने का कार्य एक कांग्रेस, समाजवादी पार्टी और एक कथित सेकुलर दलों के द्वारा देश के अंदर एक नेगेटिव वातावरण बनाने का कुत्सित प्रयास हो रहा है।
But beyond the political war, the larger question remains unanswered. If the theft happened because trusted insiders allegedly betrayed the system, does that absolve the trust of responsibility? And are the reforms being announced by the trust enough to restore public confidence? On this issue, I am joined by Sunita Arun, senior journalist, Anil Verma, political analyst, K.N. Venkateswaran, Joint Secretary and National Spokesperson, VHP. I'll be joined by Professor Advi Sharma and Vijesh Pandey, input editor of News9. But let me straight away go to Mr. Venkateswaran. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. A lot of things I have said, but accountability is not being fixed. When will the big people be shown the light, sir?
The SIT has submitted a preliminary investigation, and based on that, they have come to some conclusions that there were gaps in the system, and that was exploited by some people who were part of the counting process. The SIT has not found anything prima facie against the trust office bearers, including Sri Champat Rai ji and Anil Mishra ji. So long as there is no concrete evidence from SIT as to what the actual problem were, you wouldn't be able to jump the gun and jump to conclusions. Now, coming to why only the small fishes have been caught and the big fishes are out of the net. See, we will have to go by evidence. We will have to go by the investigation. The investigation has found these people were involved. And so long as the investigation, the SIT doesn't find anything against the other people or the trust office bearers, it is not fair to demand just because only the small people, just because small people have been arrested, big people have to be arrested. That is not a correct logic. So only the guilty people have to be punished.
Okay. Let me straight away go to Dr. Verma. Sir, how do you see this? It has become the biggest, largest debate. That entire thing is not being seen in a wider perspective. People are just looking from the perspective of theft, whereas this is more than that. It was far more organized, pervasive. Do you think that there is some sort of a cold hand which the BJP is or the ruling government has developed, in the sense that they're taken aback by the shock of the movement? Dr. Verma.
Kartika, I am really surprised that an incident of this magnitude, this theft, it has very, very big, ramifications. It has not only the financial and the religious ramifications, but also the political ramifications, the cultural ramifications. And there is a very wide gamut of, public psyche, which is, actually in sharp attack because of this thing. And therefore, anything less than a complete ownership of what has happened by the entire trust would probably not restore the public faith. And SIT, I have to make a mention here that some people are raising the issue of SIT and FIR. Let me make a legal submission here that if you remember in Lalita Kumari case 2013, the Supreme Court has given a judgment and that has said that SIT can be constituted even before an FIR is filed. However, the findings of the SIT, the court is not bound to accept it as a judicial evidence. And therefore, people who are saying that let the SIT report come and then we will take a final call, I mean, judicially it doesn't stand. The court may accept the findings of the SIT or not. The real question is that if the FIR has been filed, and the FIR should have been very, comprehensive manner, and unless the police and the FIR investigations are, suspicious of somebody, then of course the judicial proceedings will come into picture. But I am personally at the moment willing to believe that it has a wider ramification, and most of the high-ups in the trust, they cannot simply wash off their hands and say that, well, I was not involved in the day-to-day administration and the management. Then why were you in the trust? So whether you are involved or everybody knows that this Champat Rai was handling day-to-day administration, financial management, overseeing everything over there. But that does not absolve the entire responsibility and the accountability, because initially, if you remember, Kartikeya,
yes,
when the trust was formed in 2020, there were 3 briefs of the trust. One is to construct the temple,
yes,
second was to administer the day-to-day administration, and third was to look at the overall management of that temple. And therefore, I think that the trust has betrayed that confidence and the mandate. It has only, looked at the construction of the temple, and once the construction of the temple was over, they have completely withdrawn from the administrative and the management part, and that's why their responsibility lies.
Sunita, a lot of people are also talking about, there is a lack of swiftness in this entire matter. There's a lack of swiftness. If you look at the interview that was taken today, he made a difference. He said, he made a mistake. But I mean to say, you don't make a mistake like that. I mean, so crores of rupees have been siphoned off.
Kartikeya, I personally feel that, look at the dimension. Now, we are talking about first thing I would like to say, it's not a matter of faith. So right now, questioning Akhilesh Yadav, Rahul Gandhi and others not going to Ayodhya, I think this is not the time to raise that issue. The issue is a scam that has happened. Now, if you look at it, they're trying to exonerate people.
Sunita, can I ask you something? I don't want to name people, but Dr. Verma, Mr. Venkateswaran and Brijesh, a lot of people have written, some are calling it theft, some are calling it scam, embezzlement. There's a politics on which word to use. So you have used the word scam. A gentleman very closely associated with...
this is the deliberate attempt to twist this into a scam. So there has been, right from the beginning, that attempt has been on to, make this look like a scam. And it is not a scam, it is a theft, which has come out in the SIT probe.
Okay. Sunita, that is why you have chosen to use the word scam.
Okay, you call it theft?
No, I have no position. Sunita, I have no position. I just asked you because Guru Murthy, I don't need to say. I was just trying to talk about Guru Murthy wrote an editorial saying that it's a theft.
Look, right now we don't have evidence of a scam or anything. If we call it theft, fine. If we call it dacoity, as Niped Mishra called it, fine. If you call it pilferage, embezzlement, whatever word you want to use, the point is money has gone somewhere. Now, we are trying to exonerate people, that even while accepting resignation, we said he's not responsible. Point is, you're absolving them of their responsibility. First thing, they should have dissolved the trust from, first day it should have been dissolved. Because you can't be in Ayodhya, you can't be moving around Ayodhya, and then also, and then the inquiry going on. Second, the dimensions are interstate or maybe international. Look at the quantum of money involved. They've said that about 4,000 crores came in. They've given the data of the audit reports and all that. We don't know what the other funds that came in without receipts. There are people who are coming, on TV, on media, saying that we had given so much, we did not get receipt. Point is, it calls for a higher probe. I'm not going into whether they have caught a smaller fish or a bigger fish. People are involved in it. If they couldn't have taken away money like that. 77 instances have been found on CCTV cameras. What is the amount of money that has been pilfered? I'll use the right word right now. What is the amount? Is it in lakhs or is it in crores? We don't have answers to these things. So I think instead of going around talking about faith, talking about other things, it's a matter of us. It's a matter of everybody's faith, trust, and people do feel betrayed. Okay. So best is to find out the quantum of money involved, which may have been pilfered, embezzled, then decide whether SIT...
Okay. Let me also take opening comments from Rajesh. He said Champat Rai was betrayed. Do you think it was betrayed?
See, more than that, I would say that, people who are trying to mix faith in investigation should not do so. They'll be doing a disservice to the faith. Vishwa Hindu Parishad is adopting a ostrich-like attitude, saying that theft has happened, but only these 6 people are involved, and you are being the judge, jury, executioner yourself, saying Champat Rai ji is clean, XYZ is clean, they have no role. It is that he has been betrayed, and investigation should focus on this particular limited point and not beyond that. And then you start hitting out at opposition parties who actually raised this issue. The fact of the matter is that where was the need to install CCTV camera? We were told that Champat Rai ji got CCTV cameras installed because he felt that that some sort of pilferage is taking place, some sort of theft is taking place. And then when they found out, he called police, and then they went, they recovered money. But surprisingly, why was it not treated also like a law and order situation, where he should have immediately informed the police and an investigation should have been done? But why was it tried? See, the reason why people are getting agitated and people are going for overarching responses, because you tried to hide from it. And once when Akhilesh Yadav raised this particular issue, everybody went after him, said, oh, your father ordered firing at car sevak, so you have no moral right to, to ask for whether money has been siphoned or not. I think this created this atmosphere which we are witnessing right now. If pilferage was caught, and if Champat Rai has nothing to do with it, immediately they should have gone to police and gotten the 8 people arrested. What stopped him from 7 till the SIT was formed, and then after a good 7, 8, 10 days gap? What was the need for the gap?
Okay, let me ask this question. Let me take this question to Mr. Venkateswaran. Mr. Venkateswaran, I would like you to respond to this. Why was this delay, sir?
Let me put the facts, right. Okay. First thing is the allegation that thousands of crores of money has not been accounted for. It has come from different sources. Everything that's not a correct information. The trust has put out all the figures in public domain. So till FY 25-26, the accounts has been put on the public domain.
So how many crores have been pilfered? Okay, let me ask you. Okay, let me reframe the question.
So
on record, how many crores have been pilfered,
everybody
sir?
To see, like,
how many crores have been stolen? How many crores have been stolen?
Second thing is, it is not Vishwa Hindu Parishad that has exonerated. It is the Janmabhoomi Ram Janmabhoomi Tirtha Kshetra Trust that has now come out and said that, okay, Sri Champat Rai has not done anything deliberately wrong. Now, what is the grievance now? Grievance is whatever has been stolen has to be brought back. Now, the people who have stolen it has to be booked. They have to be brought to justice, not people who are not involved in this. Now, when Champat Rai came to know of it, he immediately took action to see that, what is happening. He had to verify, and he verified it, and immediately the moment he realized that something is happening, he immediately wrote to the police. He immediately asked for SIT investigation. And he was the first person to volunteer and be interrogated. So this is not a person who is deliberately, a person who's done something deliberately wrong. He will try to evade.
But Mr. Venkateswaran, why were they not arrested? Why did Champat Rai ji didn't get them arrested? Why didn't he got all those 8 people arrested? They should have been arrested at the word go. They were stealing Bhagwan Ram's money. You don't think that it was proper? It should have been proper to get all of those 8 arrested?
See, there is a due process of law. You cannot arrest people. Only the police, after due investigation, and once they realize this has happened, they have to have evidence. Only based on that, the law will take its own course.
But did he file a complaint with the police? Did he file an FIR with the police?
Of course, he filed an FIR. He asked for an SIT investigation because he didn't have the complete details. The moment he had the details, he went to the police and asked for an SIT.
Okay, so just bear with me for a minute. I'm also joined by Professor Rajveer Sharma. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. Am I audible to you, sir?
Yes.
So we were before you came, sir, we were discussing the fact that the entire thing, I'm not getting into word scam, theft, the money that was stolen from Ayodhya, a lot of people are very hurt at the fact that entire movement on this is happening at a very snail-paced fashion. Your opening comments.
Everybody is really pained on what has happened in the Ram Temple case. The kind of theft that has taken place has really worried almost every right-thinking person. But at the same time, I'm following this discussion for the last 2-3 days, and I feel that it is better to leave the government agencies, the investigating agencies, to themselves. Let them investigate, let them come to some conclusions, and the progress is taking place. You know, the SIT was constituted. The 8 persons have already been arrested, and they are being interrogated continuously.
But Mr. Sharma, you know, a lot of people are saying that the smallies have been arrested. Who are the big guns?
I think this is.
Do you think that a driver can dare to do something like that?
And siphon of money worth
In
crores.
siphon of so much of money? I mean, so I'm okay. I'll give it to Mr. Venkateswaran. I will not talk about the volume. Okay, chaliye, nahi bolunga. Lekin can a driver do this at a place with so much of public scrutiny?
Sorry?
Can a driver do this? Mr. Verma, my question is, can a driver do this? Can people who are counting, Professor, can they do it? I mean to say there has to be some depth to the scrutiny, the enormity of the crime.
Karthikeyan, that's why I'm saying that the restoration of public trust in this Ram Janmabhoomi Trust is very important. And for that, there has to be a complete, free hand to the investigation agencies, the police probably. And like you were talking about big fish and the small fish. I mean, who are the big fish? Let the police reach such people first. Who are the big fish involved? We cannot anticipate who is the big fish and who is the small fish unless the investigations take place and police is giving a free hand to investigate who are the big fish. So unless the people are nabbed, unless they are identified, how can they be nabbed? That is one thing. The second thing is that it is absolutely mandatory that a very transparent and very accountable system of entire donation process has to be resorted to. Whether there is an appointment of CEO, but there is a catch. And the catch is that once you appoint a CEO from the government, there is a suspicion in the public mind that the government is trying to intrude into the functioning and the management of the Hindu.
I was about to come to that question. What happened to the cause? What happened to the cause that the Hindu denominations, the temples, should be free from the government interference? With this, actually that was the moot point which I wanted to come. Matlab, iske baad, the real pertinent issue would be everyone would say that there should be an IS officer taking care of everything like that.
I mean, that is not only in this case. Sorry.
Yes, Mr. Bab. Yes, Professor.
There is not only this issue. You want me to respond?
Yes, Professor Verma.
Okay. It's not only that the Hindus might feel hurt, and this issue might take a different trajectory altogether, and the theft issue might be marginalized probably, and this issue may come to the fore. That is a danger if you appoint a government CEO in this entire case to oversee the entire operation, because the same will not be applicable to the other religious denominations and the institutions. For example, for mosques, for churches, then there might be a demand for that, okay, here you have detected, but have you ever cared to detect what's going in the dargahs, Ajmer Sharif, what is happening in the Badrinath temple, what is happening in some other places which are publicly known to be very rich, So there would be a Pandora's box we will be opening it by appointing a CEO for Ram Temple, and the loss of money, the loss of public.
I think that's a very interesting point, Professor Verma. Very interesting point you have raised. Sunita, very interesting point raised by him.
I think the bigger issue is who will run the temples or religious shrines in our country. And already discussion has started. There are demands. Some people are talking about Ramalaya Trust, revive it, and let there be a body of saints, Shankaracharyas to take care of it, or pick up the model from the south, because temples there are...
Should saints be in charge of the temple? Should saints be in charge of the temple?
Pardon me?
Should saints be in charge of the temple? I mean, is the temple running in itself is a different job?
No, I don't know. We have different models in the country. You have state-run hospital temples. You have like Sringeri Shankaracharya. He takes care of about 100 temples, and there are so many colleges and schools. The utilization of the donation funds, UP funds, whatever they are getting, whatever offerings they are getting, they are not being used for taking care
Mr.
of the
Venkateswar, who should run the temple, sir? I think Sunita also made a very important point. हमारे देश के मंदिर कौन चलाएगा? साधु चलाएंगे, संत चलाएंगे, preachers चलाएंगे, devouts चलाएंगे, people who are well read in Hindu scriptures. Who, I think that's a very important point raised by Professor Verma. Who should be running our temples?
Yeah, this is a very important point that is being discussed across different forums. But one thing is clear, nobody wants politicians to be administering temples. So that is something which everybody is agreeing about. And we don't want government interference. That is politicians through government. We don't want any temple to be under government control. Now, this is a different thing, whatever has been suggested. There has been a search committee that has been constituted to find a CU and 2 other people. So they come with different expertise. They have experiences in different domains. So the immediate thing that we are trying, that the trust is trying to do is to salvage or get back the trust of the people, or see that people are convinced that whatever has been spread, whatever candidates has been spread is not true, and the trust is fully, sincerely trying to set things right.
Okay. Brijesh, do you think that with the appointment of the CEO, the entire operation loopholes can be sealed?
Well, I think, I don't know whether all the loopholes and all can be sealed, but, it does raise a very valid question, and, it has been debated.
Or only probe seals the loophole?
I think, a very ruthless probe. The ruthless word I am using it because you would not want anybody to tinker with the trust which the trust and many people who fought for building of Ram temple, and they have given their lives, the kind of effort they have done for the last 3-4 decades go into waste, or there is a question mark or doubt on that based on this kind of incident. So yes, a policy of absolute no hostage taken policy should be taken as far as this particular probe is concerned. But I would also want to say that that it should be a mix of both. You should have sent in seers to spearhead how the trust should be run, the temple should be run, but you would also need someone with an ability to run the trust the way trust should be run, because we can't have a situation again where one person who's you would say that his aura is unblemished, but then everyone under him is pilfering money, and then you cannot later on turn and say that he was just too trusting, and that's the reason why this loot has happened. Cannot be something which you can take refuge under.
Okay, I thank you all of you for joining me on this conversation. I think the real answer lies in probity and transparency that should be shared with the people who believe, people who have faith, people who have fought, people who believe in Lord Ram. I think that's where, and I don't think the questions are the problem. Question should never be the problem. Our scripture starts with question, Upanishad starts with question, Gita starts with a question. So I think the questions are least of the problem when it comes to Hinduism. I think the larger issue is that the probity and sharing of facts with the people who believe in this divine institution. I thank you all of you for joining me, and this was On Point 1. But to my viewers, please don't go away. We will examine the growing power struggle within Punjab Congress. Charanjit Singh Channi and Raja warring at the center of a leadership tussle. Can the Congress contain the infighting before it reaches the voters?
Meet the tomorrow today. ICFI is the bridge between tomorrow and today. Bridge between aspirations and accomplishment. Bridge between I wish to I can. I will remove the gap. Welcome to the I. I am ICFI. Belief called I. I can fly above imagination.
In Belfast, sudden act of violence, and within hours, a city was pulled into chaos. What began as a stabbing has now ignited nights of unrest across Northern Ireland. Fresh unrest has erupted in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir with large-scale protests. As the guns fall silent in the Iran war, Donald Trump has opened a new diplomatic front in the West Asia. Not with missiles, not with sanctions, but with a bold demand. Uganda has closed its border with the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo with immediate effect.
The Congress party has often accused its rivals of being divided. But today, the Congress in Punjab finds itself battling a full-blown internal power struggle. Ahead of 2027 Punjab Assembly elections, the battle for leadership has intensified. At the centre of the tussle are two senior leaders, former Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi and Punjab Congress President Amrinder Singh Raja Waring. What began as a disagreement over the state leadership has now snowballed into a wider organizational crisis. The Congress High Command attempted a balancing act by retaining Raja Waring as a state president while appointing Channi as chairman of the party's campaign committee. But instead of ending the infighting, the move appears to have deepened factional lines just a day after holding what was widely